I'm not crying.
I don't know.
That much.
So chief, it's the return of the blade and slice shade, getting paid until my silhouette fades. Immersing.
This dude made you cry over dead dogs. This dude made you cry over baby dinosaurs. This dude made you cry over Rasputin. Don Bluth in a lot of ways was the more mature Disney. I don't mean this as a shot at Disney, but in a way Don Bluth felt like kids could handle more than what Disney gave them credit for. Maybe he thought that a little too much. Funny enough, Don Bluth only ever got his start because of Disney. Don Bluth's career started way back in 1955 as an assistant animator for Sleeping Beauty. He would leave Disney for a bit to go into university and study literature, and would return to Disney in 1971 to work on Robin Hood, and the original Rescuers, and directing Pete's Dragon. So Don Bluth has kind of always been baller as f***. The 70s proved to be an odd time for Disney. The studio began to cut costs when it came to animation, and when Don Bluth attempted to pursue more creative and groundbreaking projects under Disney, he was denied. So in 1979, on his 42nd birthday, he, along with Gary Goldman and John Pomeroy and 9 other Disney animators, formed their own animation studio. 3 short years later, the studio would release its first feature film, The Secret of Nimh, in 1983. Great for them, right? Nope. Due to the film's moderate success and the industry-wide animator strike, Bluth Productions soon after filed for bankruptcy. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. No, I'm just kidding. Of course we're not done here. We're not done crying yet. Despite the bankruptcy, Bluth would try its hand at an arcade game of all things with Dragon's Lair. At the time, a groundbreaking game that's considered a classic to this day, but wait a minute. What was that other thing that happened in 1983? Oh, that's right. The video game crash of 1983. Damn. The homie really couldn't catch a break in the 80s. What would it take to get our boy Donnie out of such a rut? Steven Spielberg, of course. This would be the beginning of the Don Bluth Renaissance. The first film of this collaboration was 1986's An Americantale. This one made me cry. Then in 1988 we got In Land Before Time, which also made me cry. And it had 13 direct-to-video sequels, and I have all of them. This is where Bluth would end his relationship with Steven Spielberg, and things would go south from here. In the 90s we got Ragadoodle, Thumbelina, A Troll in Central Park, and A Pebble and the Penguin, all of which bombed critically and at the box office. That, and also having to compete with a little thing called the Disney Renaissance, didn't help. So that's the history of Don Bluth, and I'm just kidding again. Of course we're not done yet. In 1997, Don Bluth would work with Fox Animation, of all people, and drop Anastasia. In this movie, Rasputin sings a song that sounds like it was written by Meatloaf, and he sings it with a bunch of little animated bugs. This is getting a Broadway musical. Since then, Don's just been bouncing around the industry, and even crowdfunded a Dragon's Lair movie. Don's even been pretty active with the community, and has been living pretty comfortably. Don Bluth's legacy has, and always will be, doing what was best for animation and storytelling first. I mean, he left Disney because he felt like they weren't doing what was best for animation at the time. This man left Disney because Disney wasn't enough. To an extent, you could say that his devotion to the craft would go on to not only lead Disney to their renaissance, but earn a lot of respect for animation as a whole. His movies also exposed kids to things that, yeah, were scary or sad, but always left them with an experience that helped them learn or grow. He taught us to not only expect more of animation, but of what we were capable of doing in general, no matter what we did. When you strive to be the best, you're not always going to be successful, but that's okay. The stories he told made an impact that you just wouldn't have gotten from anywhere else, especially at that time. And for that, it was worth it. So what do you think? Were you a Don Bluth kid or a Disney kid growing up? What's your favorite Don Bluth movie? I still cry whenever I watch Land Before Time. If you haven't already, you can buy our shirts. They're alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. I'm your boy Mike Dangerous, and why do you watch my videos, dude?